Hello, welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Kirsten Learns a Lesson. Chapter 3, Visitors. Miss Winston's coming to live at our house, Elizabeth said proudly. Kirsten was walking to school with Elizabeth and Anna. Oh no, she replied. It's an honor, Kirsten, Elizabeth said. We've never had a teacher live with us. Well, we didn't want Mr. Coogan, Anna added. She wrapped her shawl more tightly because the November days were turning colder. Kirsten's spirits sank. The best part of the school day was when she left Powderhead School and headed home. If Miss Winston came to Elizabeth and Anna, so the school followed her home. But Anna was so excited she skipped. Won't it be grand? Miss Winston will eat supper with us every night. She'll have a bed in the loft near ours. Papa hung a curtain to make her a little room. Elizabeth laced her arm through Kirsten. Miss Winston's had been living off the shed at the Enberg's kitchen. But now the shed is too cold. She says our house will be wonderful. She heard our mama's a good cook. Well, there's no room for her in our cabin, Kirsten said firmly. Anyway, my mama doesn't speak any English at all. In the chill air, her breath made a little cloud at her lips. But that's the best part, Anna went on. You and your family will eat with us more often. Your mama will cook with mine, and we'll have supper together. That way your mama and Papa can learn more English. Papa says that with Miss Winston at the table, it won't be polite to speak Swedish. Now Kirsten's spirits sank even lower. The happiest time of her family was when they sat together for supper. Papa talked about the crops and the animals. Mom spoke of the wool she was spinning. She almost had enough to begin weaving. Lars and Peter joked about the pranks that the boys played at recess. How could they speak of these things if they struggled with English? And Kirsten didn't have to have school lessons at supper time, too. Would Miss Winston smack her ruler on Uncle Olav's table as she did on the stove at school? When is she coming? Kirsten asked. Next Sunday, Elizabeth said. Quickly, Kirsten counted the days. This was Tuesday, so there was only 5 more nights of freedom left. Just think, Anna said. She'll dress right in our room. I bet she has beautiful petticoats. She's a lady, you know. Ladies wear beautiful underclothes, I'm sure of it. Kirsten scowled. Anna, I don't care what kind of underclothes Miss Winston wears. Well, when she saw Anna's lower lip tremble, she took her cousin's arm. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. You're probably cross because you have such a hard time learning your poem, Elizabeth said. That comment didn't make Kirsten feel any better. She put her hand in her apron pocket where she kept the gift Singing Bird had given her. That was the Indian girl's name, Singing Bird. She and Kirsten were already the best friends. Every day they explored the woods and the caves along the stream. Singing Bird taught Kirsten to whistle like a meadowlark. When Kirsten was with Singing Bird, she felt as free as the rabbits they scattered the rain. She felt as strong and swift as the young deer they'd often came on in the woods. She forgot to worry about trying to fit in at school, about trying to learn her lessons, about trying to speak English correctly. That afternoon, there were long shadows under the pines, and when Kirsten ran to the stream with the bucket bumping her leg, Singing Bird waited for her under a willow tree. Hello, Kirsten said. Singing Bird touched Kirsten's blonde braid, as she liked to do. Ho, she said. Kirsten beckoned for Singing Bird to follow her farther in the woods. For several days, Kirsten had planned to take Singing Bird to the doll fort under the cherry tree. Elizabeth and Anna might be cross if Kirsten took someone into the fort without their permission, especially an Indian, but Kirsten decided to take the chance. Singing Bird crawled behind Kirsten through the tunnel in the fort. Red leaves carpeted the ground there. A raccoon peered at the girls from the lowest branches of the cherry tree. The yellowed grass inside the fort was still thick, and all the doll furniture was still there. Singing Bird's eyes grew wide when Kirsten showed her the stacks of doll cakes and cookies. Pretty, she said. She touched the 3 doll beds of woven twigs, the doll blankets woven from scraps of cotton, and the little cross Elizabeth had made so they could pretend their dolls went to church. Kirsten took the tiny basket and clay box from her pocket. She put them on the table with the doll cakes. She pretended to drink the pot and then offered it to Singing Bird. Singing Bird gave a few buried twigs and tied them together at one end of the grass. She set the twigs up right on the moss and wrapped them a large oak leaf around them. Teepee, she told Kirsten. Then she walked her fingers in the teepee. Come, she said. Kirsten laughed with pleasure. She put the small blanket of hot into the teepee, and then she walked her fingers inside as Singing Bird had done. "Here I am," she said. Singing Bird took her head. "My teepee." She stood and stretched her arms wide to show Kirsten she spoke of her real teepee. Kirsten's heart sped up. Singing Bird wanted her to go to her Indian village. Kirsten knew the Indian village was close by, but she didn't know where. Olav said he had seen the teepees when he set out traps for rabbits, but none of the children at school had been there. Most of them did not trust Indians. Of course, they didn't know Singing Bird. "Where's your teepee?" Kirsten asked. Singing Bird pointed toward a ridge where the sun was setting. "Yes, I'll come," Kirsten said. But she knew it was too late to go today. Every day the sun set earlier, and the sky was already getting dark now. So she added, "I'll come soon." And she put the doll furniture back into place, and Singing Bird untied the small teepee and scattered the twigs. And then they walked back to the stream together. Instead of drawing a setting sun as a promise to meet tomorrow, Singing Bird drew a full sun and pointed east. She meant for them to meet in the morning. Kirsten shook her head and then drew two suns like Singing Bird. She meant she couldn't come tomorrow, but she'd be there the next day before she went to school. She would meet Singing Bird and go to her village. Kirsten didn't know how she'd get away, but she knew she would. Then, as she could do easily, Singing Bird vanished into the shadowy grove and was gone. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.